our country's calling peace and friendship. Neighbors all at our country's future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we'll always stand. Oh, Uganda, the land of freedom, our love and labor we give, and with neighbors all at our country's calling, peace and friendship will Oh, Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we'll always stand. Lord, we'll cry for freedom. Father, we're crying now for your mercy. Lord, we'll cry for freedom. Stretch your hand and heal our bleeding land. Lord, we'll cry for freedom. Father, we're crying now for your mercy. Lord, we cry for freedom. Stretch your hand and heal our bleeding land. Oh, Uganda, the land that feeds us by sand and fertile soil. For our own dear land we'll hold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we'll always stand. Oh, Uganda, the land of freedom, our love and holy, we lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we'll always stand. Oh, Uganda, the land of freedom, our love and labor we give, and we neighbors all at our country's calling, peace and friendship. Stretch your hand and heal our bleeding land. Lord, we'll cry for freedom. Father, we'll cry now for your mercy. Lord, we'll cry for freedom. Stretch your hand and heal our bleeding land. Oh, Uganda, the land that feeds us by sun and fertile soil. For our only land will always stand up. Holy, we lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we'll always stand.
I am very confident that we defeated the dictator by far. I call upon all Ugandans to reject the blackmail. We have certainly won this election, and we've won it by far. General Museveni and his small clique of oppressors are trying yet again to impose themselves on the people of Uganda. I am very confident that we defeated the dictator by far. I call upon all Ugandans to reject the blackmail. We have certainly won this election, and we've won it by far. General Museveni and his small clique of oppressors are trying yet again to impose themselves on the people of Uganda. People of Uganda voted massively for change of leadership. There was no secret ballot in most polling stations. The military gave people pre-ticked ballots. They gave them pre-ticked ballot papers. In other cases, some people were ordered to vote from the desk in the presence of everyone. Several of our phone numbers, including mine and my wife, have been switched off. They've been disconnected illegally. The military is deployed everywhere. The dictatorship is in panic. The illegal, high-handed actions. We are law-abiding citizens. We are non-violent. We are not criminals. We do everything we do within the law, and we shall do everything we will do within the law.
Are you going to sign the declaration form?
Thank you very much. We can only sign this declaration form if we are allowed to put our reservations on the same form, because tomorrow when we take other measures, we do not want them to say that we are not at the Tari Center. Because we have been here, we have observed what has been happening, and we'll receive the results. If we are allowed to comment and indicate our reservations about the whole process, then we can sign but indicate those reservations.
What reservations do you have about the process, especially this tally process?
The entire tally process has been conducted in a very dark and it lacked transparency. We, from the beginning, were assured by the Electoral Commission that each candidate or their agents would receive copies of the results from the district before they are transmitted to the National Tally Center, that we are able to verify when they are reading here. That was not done because, first of all, internet has been switched off, but we are not even given a hard copy. So the entire process here has been reduced into a ritual where we sit and the commission reads fabricated figures without indicating they are from which polling station, from which district, but they only read that this one has this percentage, the other one has that percentage, but they do not show us where that percentage has come from, which we contest.
Bobi Wine has rejected this result. He says that he has evidence of widespread rigging in favor of President Yoweri Museveni. What evidence does he have? He hasn't shown journalists that evidence.
We, first of all, have had agents across the country. Many of them were arrested on the polling day. Others were chased away from the polling station. However, through some of the agents who stayed at the polling stations and the vigilant citizens, we have been able to collect results from across the country, and at an appropriate time we'll be announcing them to the people of Uganda. What is being announced here is an attempt to undermine the will of the people of Uganda. The consent to govern must be obtained through a free and fair election.
And what are you going to do next? Are you going to go to the Constitutional Court to challenge this?
The legal framework in Uganda gives us a number of opportunities and options through which we can contest this unfair process. And going to the Supreme Court is one of the options. But like our leader has mentioned through the campaign, we look at this election as part of a revolution to liberate the people of Uganda from the yoke of dictatorship that they have endured for the last 35 years. There are several options, and we undertake to provide leadership to the people of Uganda to pursue liberation, and we ask them to stand firm and work with us to explore all the options under the legal framework of Uganda to make sure that we stop this coup.
The options that you're talking about, does that include calling people to come out to the streets to demonstrate?
And we don't have to call them. It is their will that is being snatched. So Ugandans have a right, if they feel that that is one of the ways through which they can express their discontent, they have a right to do so, provided they are doing it in accordance with the law. And I think in preparation for this rigging, you saw the massive deployment and show of force on the streets of Kampala and other districts of Uganda. It was driven by the guilt of the incumbent who has undermined all state institutions, and in a process like this one, they are all working in a partisan way on his side. So the intention has been to intimidate the people of Uganda so that when this rigging takes place, then they are not able to come out and express their dissatisfaction with the manner in which the process has been conducted.
Bobi Wine says that his house has been surrounded by the military. We've seen that as well. But he also says that he's not been allowed to leave, and visitors and journalists are being blocked from accessing his compound. What do you make of this? Have you talked to him?
I spoke to Bobi Wine a while ago, and I can confirm that his movements are restricted. He's not allowed to leave his home, and visitors are not allowed to enter, which in effect indicates that he's under detention, house arrest, and his home is not a gazetted place of detention, which is illegal in itself. And it also shows that part of the scheme to rig and undermine the democratic process is take away the leaders, keep them away, intimidate the citizens, switch off internet, censor the media, which they have done effectively. That's why no local station now can go and interview Bobi Wine.
Security officials that I've spoken to here are saying that the reason they've done that, blocking access to his home, is because he wants to announce a parallel result. He wants to announce that he has won the election.
Security agencies in Uganda, you need to understand, have been undermined. They are partisan, contrary to the constitution of the Republic of Uganda. They are partisan, and they have been doing politics on behalf of Mr. Museveni throughout this process. Therefore, their statements have a context, and the context is that they want to aid him in carrying out a coup against the constitutional process.
All right, thank you very much. That was Bobi Wine, representative here at the Tally Center, who says that they reject this result. And in a few hours, we're going to be hearing from the President himself, Yoweri Museveni, who's going to be addressing the nation.
Okay, Catherine, we'll speak to you as and when that happens. Thank you very much for the time being. Catherine updating us from Kampala, Uganda. Let's bring in Agnes Pito, who's the managing partner at Africa advisory firm GBS Africa. She's joining us from London. Thanks very much for your time. So the representative of Bobi Wine was just telling our correspondent, Catherine Soy, that Museveni is trying to basically undermine the will of the people in Uganda. And with the opposition...
Politician Bobi Wine insists polls have been falsified. And Bloomberg Quick Takes Nyalu Ndaga spoke to Wine's lawyer, Robert Amsterdam, who's in close contact with the candidate. Check this out.
As of this moment, when you're interviewing me, Bobi Wine's house has just been entered by non-uniformed military, the same folks who tortured him when he was arrested in Arua a number of years ago. We're not sure exactly how he is physically, let alone in any other way in respect to this vote.
We are being attacked at home by soldiers, armed. They've not shown us, they've not told us what they intend to do. They've not told us why they're here.
Briefly explain the situation in Uganda right now. People headed to the polls on January 14th. There were reports of unrest and issues with the polls across the country. On top of that, we also saw international observers pull out earlier this week. What's happening and how are things now?
Firstly, let's be clear. This is not a free and fair election. This is a situation where Museveni is attempting to legitimize a dictatorship that to some extent has been supported by the West and the United States for reasons relating to their belief that Museveni somehow assists their security. One thing that's clear is Museveni is not working in the interests of the Ugandan people.
Robert, can you explain to us why has it been so hard to get information out of Uganda?
It's a complete internet shutdown. And one of the things we've seen in East Africa and other parts of Africa is that the telcos and the internet providers are to some extent in league with the dictators, and they engage in these internet and telephone shutdowns so that there can't be proper monitoring of the vote. and so that the opposition parties don't have a way to communicate with their inspectors, it becomes very difficult to monitor the election.
Tell us about Bobi Wine's campaign. He's a household name in Uganda and much of Africa. But for those who don't know, who is this man, and why has his presence on the political stage drawn so much attention?
He's a unique individual. He's a gifted musician. He's a man who grew up in the ghettos among 34 cousins and siblings. He is, in many ways, an encapsulation of the African dream, arising from the ghetto, self-educated, self-made, and deciding, as opposed to taking the rich bling lifestyle, to give back to his people with extraordinary courage. He has faced down bullets. He has faced down a multitude of arrests, phony arrests, where they capture him, put him on a helicopter, make all sorts of threats, but then deliver him home. I mean, it's the psychological attacks as well as the physical attacks have been incredible. They've been captured by the international media.
As you just alluded to, it hasn't been an easy road for your client. Several of his associates have also been jailed. This, along with other alleged actions, has culminated into a potential international criminal court case. Bobi Wine called on the ICC to investigate President Museveni and senior officials for alleged human rights abuses. Can you tell us about the case? What prompted it, and where does it stand today?
Well, I think what's prompted it is the illegal criminal activities of the regime. Documentation was put together by an American law professor who's written an excellent document that sets out in detail the ongoing, and it's an encyclopedia of the crimes that have followed and bedeviled the opposition.
This election holds weight not only in Uganda, but the whole of Africa. How will these results reverberate throughout the continent?
There is no Museveni win. That's already clear from the polls that he's lost. A Bobi Wine win would mean a tremendous sense of liberation for Bobi Wine's generation. And one of the things we have to understand is 80% of Uganda is 35 and under. I mean, Bobi Wine represents the future of Africa.
Do you have any parting words that you'd like to share about the situation in Uganda right now?
I think that the situation in Uganda is
For liberty together we'll always stand. Oh, Uganda, the land of freedom, our love, our labor we give, and we neighbors all at our country's calling, peace and friendship. Stretch your hand and heal our bleeding land. Lord, we'll cry for freedom. Father, we'll cry now for your mercy. Lord, we'll cry for freedom. Stretch your hand and heal our bleeding land. Oh, Uganda, the land that feeds us by sun and fertile soil. For our only land will hold thee, we lay our future.
As the disputed vote count continues in the country's presidential election. Wine showed Reuters around his compound in the capital, Kampala. Armed government-deployed forces in Uganda surrounded the home of opposition candidate Bobi Wine on Friday, as the disputed vote count continues in the country's presidential election. Wine showed Reuters around his compound in the capital, Kampala, where several armed men were seen through a fence communicating via radios. Wine, who is challenging incumbent and longtime leader Yoweri M7, claims there's been widespread election fraud, and said on Friday he was now under siege.
I thought I should inform the world that our lives are in danger. Should anything happen to us, at least we have had the opportunity while still alive to expose everything that is being plotted on our lives.
A government spokesperson denied that Wine was under house arrest, saying security had been deployed in his neighborhood for his own protection. Museveni, who has led Uganda for over 3 decades, took a commanding lead in the election on Friday. But Wine claimed at a news conference on Friday that he had won the vote and had video proof of voting fraud. His claims have not been independently verified by Reuters. The United States and European Union did not deploy observers for this election, though the African Union and East African Community both did. but neither team has responded to requests for comment about possible irregularities. This election campaign has been marred by deadly crackdowns by security forces on opposition candidates and their supporters, including the arrest of Wine and others on multiple occasions. Museveni's government had ordered an internet blackout until further notice ahead of the vote and banned all social media and messaging apps. Museveni said that was in retaliation for Facebook taking down some pro-government accounts. And on Thursday, the Election Commission Chairman Simon Byabakama told Ugandans results were arriving at the National Tallying Center despite the blackout, and that they were using their own system to transmit results without giving details.
No, they did not enter the house. I'm going to show you where they came up to. Because all the other gates have been locked, and because you have to go through the first gate to come in here. That's them.
So they're literally moving around in your compound, on your land?
Yes.
What the music?
Of course, I don't feel safe at all. They came all the way up to where these red chairs are. They grabbed this young man. My security guard stays in this house, so they got him from here. When I saw them grabbing and dragging him. They have reached around here. But I know whatever the intentions are dangerous on my life. That is why I thought it's important for the world. I'm not sure I can leave my home. I certainly can't leave because every car that is leaving my home is checked everywhere to see if I'm inside. My Museveni, the government here eyamusibira mugwa n'okubifuna. Ensi bwe yabadde eronda comprehensive report and update on the same. Let's repeat it.
Stretch your